Hey guys, Zan here. Today I'll continue sharing about my vacation to southeastern Germany back in October 2021. In my previous video, we explored the beautiful town of Berchtesgaden and cruised on the pristine waters of Lake Chiemsee. Today, we continue on our journey to the town of Füssen, home to Neuschwanstein Castle, the inspiration of Disney's iconic Cinderella castle. We'll also ascend to the highest point in Germany, Zugspitze, located in the Bavarian Alps. We began the day early, as it would take us about an hour to reach Füssen from our hotel in Oberammergau. Our room rate included breakfast, so we had a quick bite at the buffet. The breakfast selection was impressive for a small boutique hotel, featuring a variety of cold cuts, cheeses, yogurt, jams, and bread. There was also a hot food section at the back, with bacon, sausage, and scrambled eggs. 1 hour later, we arrived at Füssen at around 8 in the morning to hopefully snag one of the last walk-in tickets to Neuschwanstein Castle. Most visitors pre-order their tickets online to avoid disappointment, but by the time we researched about it, we had just missed the cutoff. There was a long line when we arrived, and we kept our fingers crossed. Thankfully, we managed to get the tickets. The castle was on a hilltop and required a 30-minute hike to get to. Just as we were starting our journey up, we passed a peculiar-looking horse-drawn carriage. It turns out it was a motorized carriage, and the horse was there for show. The higher we climbed, the larger the castle got, until finally at the foot of the castle walls, we could appreciate the size and majesty of this stone structure. Not to mention the view behind us was pretty sweet as well.
Right now we're in Neuschwanstein Castle and we managed to get a ticket despite the really long queues. Thankfully, we were advised to come at around 8 and that was just the perfect timing. There were only 2 slots left and we managed to get one of the 2 slots.
They opened the doors to us 10 to 15 minutes before our tour time, so we could take a stroll in the courtyard. There were 2 levels, but there wasn't much to see besides the fairy tale mural.
Right now in the castle grounds, as you can see behind me, that's an iconic part of the castle with a mural at the top.
Before long, it was time to enter the castle for our guided tour. Photography was not allowed inside the castle. We admired the antique and antiquities, old bedrooms and living quarters. Midway through the tour, there was a stop at an outdoor terrace, with an incredible view of Lake Alpsee and Hohenschwangau Castle. Photography was, of course, allowed at this section. At the end of the tour was the castle kitchen, which was recreated to portray how it would have looked back in the day.
So we have just exited Neuschwanstein Castle, as you can see right behind me, and we're now headed to a viewing gallery to get a better view.
After a 15-minute hike through a mesmerizing amber-colored forest, we reached the observation point, which offered a comparable view of Lake Alpsee. We weren't that impressed with the view of Neuschwanstein Castle though, being quite small in the distance, with trees creeping into the photo. We bid goodbye to Neuschwanstein Castle and headed back down to town for lunch. Naturally, food prices were marked up for tourists, so we had a simple sausage roll.
Hi.
Hello.
We took a leisurely stroll through town to kill some time before our afternoon tour of Hohenschwangau Castle. The castle also did not allow photography, so we did not get any footage inside the castle. Nonetheless, it wasn't as impressive as Neuschwanstein Castle, so if you only have time to visit one, I highly suggest the latter. After the tour, we headed back to Oberammergau to rest. We had booked a room at the Romantik Hotel Böld, Oberammergau, which has now been rebranded into the Active Hotel Böld. The hotel was clean and felt newly renovated, with some modern styling mixed with traditional elements. We chose to stay in Oberammergau because it was roughly halfway between Füssen and Zugspitze, meaning we did not have to wake up too early for either. We booked a 35 square meter superior double room. The living room was quite dimly lit, and the windows were small, as were the TVs, given the size of the room. The bathroom was large and featured a rain shower. We had dinner at the same Chinese restaurant that we ordered takeout from the night before. The food wasn't great, but it filled our bellies and satisfied our craving for Asian food. The next morning, we had breakfast at the buffet again before departing for Zugspitze. On the way, we stopped by Ettal Abbey, a beautiful monastery with more than 200 years of history. Sadly, we did not have time to look around and left after taking a few pictures. We parked our car at the Zugspitze Cable Car car park. At a height of almost 3,000 meters, Zugspitze is ranked 12th highest in Europe and the tallest peak in Germany. The cable car takes you all the way to the top in about 15 minutes. There are still a couple of flights of stairs before reaching the top, all the while being mesmerized by the breathtaking views of the Bavarian Alps.
The view is just spectacular. Just look at that view. So Zugspitze so we come across ETL flight. You don't need to because the view is amazing all around.
The mountain range borders Austria, and there was a sign demarcating where the border was. Given Austria was not an approved country on the vaccinated travel lane or VTL list, we technically weren't allowed to cross over, or we might need to be quarantined after we landed back in Singapore. 2021 feels like a long time ago. Lastly, there was a rock formation with a golden cross on top. There were some ladders and ropes, but they did not look very sturdy. A number of brave souls decided to ignore the warnings and scaled the rocks with no safety harness. They made it safely, but I can't imagine what would happen if any of them slipped and fell. Given the risks, we decided against climbing to reach the cross. Instead, we chilled in a cafe and had a cake and beer, before heading back down on the cable car. Our second last stop of the day was a quick visit to the Dachau concentration camp memorial. The main entrance, the former maintenance building, and some guard towers are all that remains of the camp today. The barracks are no longer present, but their placement are marked out on the ground by raised cement. We left the memorial and arrived in Munich just as the sun was setting, but that's a story for the next and final video in this series. If you enjoyed this video, why not drop a like and subscribe to stay tuned for more travel content. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.